Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. I'd posted that Colt 45 video and someone had commented asking me my feelings on ice beers. I'll tell you a quick story. My freshman year in the dorms at San Diego State, for some reason, there was a rare Friday morning where we didn't have anything for baseball. So Thursday night, Thursday night was like the night that everyone kind of went out and partied. We were freshmen, underage. We couldn't go to bars or do anything like that. But Thursdays were the nights where, if you, tried to get beer or tried to do it, whatever your thing was, Thursday was the day that like you went hard. And typically I never did anything on Thursdays because we had to get up early on Fridays. But for some reason we didn't have to that Friday morning. And I was sitting in a dorm room with a buddy, and this other guy on our floor comes in, sits down with a huge backpack, takes his backpack off, sets it down, opens it up, and there is a case of Bud Ice beers. I had never had Bud Ice up to that point. I was a 19-year-old kid, and I'd had beers and stuff after high school, and those months, leading up to that in the dorms, and I was like, oh yeah, I like beer, I drink beer. And the three of us sat and we proceeded to drink the entire backpack full of beer. And I remember being inebriated, and I went to bed and woke up the next morning with the worst hangover in my entire life. And I swore off ice beers and said I would never drink another ice beer again. And it's been since then that I've not drank ice beer. So when that comment happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not an ice beer guy, but we're grown folks now. We've drank a lot of beer over the years. Might as well see what ice beer is all about. So that's what we're doing. This is a beer that I've seen a ton my entire life. Obviously never had it. It is called Icehouse, and it is 5.5% alcohol by volume. Again, I talked about it in the Colt 45 video. I don't know how we got so wasted drinking 5% ice beers or whatever Bud Ice was back then. No idea, but that's the can. This beer was $2.42, I think, for a 24-ounce can. Cheap AF. It says the Plank Road Brewery, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. No idea what the Plank Road Brewery is or who owns that. But yeah, 24 ounces, 5.5%. This actually shows the ingredients: water, barley malt, corn syrup, yeast, and hop extract. So there you go. Corn syrup is added as part of something. Never use high fructose corn syrup. All right. Sweet. Like you're drinking alcohol. What are you worried about high fructose corn syrup for? So let's 22 years later try an ice beer, see what we think. It's warm again today. Just finished a nice little workout / run, so a nice low ABV lager sounds freaking awesome right now. So I'm excited to drink this beer. It's one of those beers, like, I feel like everyone's had this beer. I've never had it. Again with this one, crystal clear, a little bit darker. I think this looks exactly like the Colt 45 did last night. So tons and tons of carb, good finger of fluffy white head. I don't know what the ice brewing process means. I should have looked it up before I drank this, but they do something else to, I think, make it a higher gravity. But this is 5.5%. I have no idea. I'm sure you guys can tell me, or I can look it up when I'm done with this video. This definitely is more intense on the aroma than the Colt 45 was last night. It still smells generically like beer to me, but like much more intense. Again with this one, very malty, like cereal grain Cheerios. There is a little bit of like hop in there though. It doesn't smell hoppy like you're used to, if you drink like IPAs or whatnot, but there is like some sort of like faint hop note. But yeah, this is grainy, malty, cereal-y. It smells like beer. Doesn't smell offensive. For some reason, I remember that Bud Ice smelling skunky, but that could have just been me not being experienced with beer and not really knowing what I was smelling. Doesn't smell bad at all. So let's taste it. Cheers. Again with this one, this beer's not bad at all. Don't hate it. Not offensive. It's a little on the sweet side on the finish, but it definitely has like that wheaty cereal grainy thing. super dry on the finish, crisp. Carbonation's great. You can see all the, I don't know if you can see all the bubbles in the glass. But yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad beer at all. There's nothing offensive about this beer. Nothing where I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. It might be a little on the sweet side, you know, that could be like a knock on it, but there's a faint bit of hops. But this is just like, if you were to think, you know, what is beer? Like, this tastes like beer to me. This is nothing fancy, nothing special, obviously. Under $3 for a 24-ounce can. It's cheap. But yeah, I mean, it's fine for what it is. Again, like, it's fun drinking these beers, like going back to, you know, cheap beers and drinking them. Cause, you know, I went through a time when I first really got into craft beer back in like 2011, where I was like, fuck those beers. They suck, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's nice to kind of come full circle and come back to these and be like, these really aren't that bad. Like, they're not everyone's jam, I get it, but there's no sense in talking shit about stuff like this. For what? Like, what does that make you feel good? Like, fucking Icehouse is pissed, you guys drink that shit. It's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Like, why? If this is what people like, let them drink it. Again, with this one, just like Colt 45, would I drink this again? Of course I would. I've only seen tall cans of this. I don't know if these come in like, you know, 12, 24 packs, but something like this, like, I bet you a 12 pack of this is super cheap. Like, it'd be fine to have in the fridge. Like, why not? Hot summer day after you mow the lawn, it's fine. It's not bad at all. Almost drank half the freaking pour that we did. So maybe ice beers aren't that bad. I should drink the other big ice beer that I always saw was Natty Ice. Everyone in college drank Natty Ice, and it had to have been because it was cheap. I've never had it though. I swore off ice beers that night. That Thursday night at the Toltec dorms at San Diego State University, I swore I would never drink an ice beer again, but here we are doing it. So maybe Natty Ice will be next. Why not? So I don't hate this beer. It's not bad at all. So you guys like ice beers? Let's talk about it. That's Icehouse. Maybe you're a fan. Maybe you remember drinking this. Maybe you have stories to tell. Let's discuss it. So that's it. Another cheap beer in the books. See you guys soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.